Welcome to the Joe Kilgallon podcast, aka Kilgallon's Pub. As always, I'd like to start off by thanking all the listeners. You guys are amazing, especially my Patreon subscribers, which you could be too. Join the Patreon. We got tiers: the draft beer tier, $3 a month. We got the cocktail tier, $6. We got the top shelf, $9 a month. For that, you get your own personal podcast about any topic you'd like to hear. I'll fucking ramble on about it. Maybe I'll have a guest on for you if you'd like, and all that other good shit. Also, shout out to the YouTube subscribers. You guys are amazing. And without further ado, let's get into it. I got two returning guests, both hilarious Chicago comedians who you guys should definitely check out. They'll be touring, I'm sure, once life gets back to normal because they're that damn good. And we're going to be talking some WandaVision on this episode, just to tease you a little bit. But first, let's fuck around a little bit. Bringing onto the podcast the returning Carinda Rae Larson and Ed Towns. What's up, people?
Hey. What's going on?
I was gonna say what's up, y'all, but I don't know. I don't pull off a y'all. I'm not a y'all guy.
How yous guys doing?
How yous doing? It's not bad. How yous doing is pretty good. Ed's wearing a badass T-shirt. For those of you who aren't watching via YouTube, it's NBA Finals from 1998.
Yes, sir.
Fuck yeah, dude. I like how vintage that is. Karl Malone and Scottie Pippen. That's pretty great, man. It's now March 2nd, everybody. Ed just finished No Fun February. You want to tell the listeners what?
Not done yet.
Yeah. Well, explain what it is. Tell people what No Fun February is for you.
So the way it started was when you start getting remotely good at comedy, you start drinking for free a lot or for very, very cheap. So I had to really look myself in the mirror and be like, am I out here for the right reasons? So then I started doing No Fun February. I would still go out 5 nights a week. I would intentionally shut down bars and not have a drop to drink just to show that I am the master of the booze and not the other way around. This one was more challenging because I was in the house the whole fucking time. So it was just like nothing going on. So the reason why I'm still doing it is because I always go the day after the Super Bowl because I'm not a fucking idiot. So that was the 7th. So this 7th, I'm going to start drinking again.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people do like sober October, or they'll go like sober January or booze free January. I guess there's no cool rhyme with it. You did a No Fun February, which is kind of a nice ring to it.
Mm-hmm.
I always got annoyed though, because I told people, I'm like, I can't do like sober October because, you know, I'm a big baseball fan, playoff baseball. Halloween's a good drinking day. Also fall, it's a crispness in the air. It's like your last time to drink outside. If you're in a cold weather city like we are, it's just, and then January is such a cold, shitty month that it's like, why wouldn't you want to drink during that hellhole of a month? I just kept thinking of too many. We were smart about it as a society in which we spaced out our holidays in a way in which you want to have fun every so often. You were smart though. You said, fuck the calendar. As long as I do 30 days, I'm doing 30 days. I'm going to start after the Super Bowl and then go through first week of March. Perfect. You're not missing St. Patrick's Day. The only thing you're missing is NBA All-Star Weekend, which is like, if you're getting drunk.
Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, who gives a fuck?
Really? What, you want the Celebrity All-Star Game? You don't want to miss that shit? You know, like, who gives a shit? What, spring training? You want to watch catchers and pitchers show for training camp? No, cut all that bullshit out. Take February off. You know, March comes, right? March Madness. You don't miss that shit. The playoffs, St. Patrick's Day, the NBA playoff starts to matter because seeding starts mattering. All these good teams, you start watching the good matchups like the Lakers or the Clippers, or even maybe the Bulls. They have a shot to make the playoffs this year, shockingly enough.
They do.
You guys like their jerseys?
I have a problem with you, Corinda. Corinda does not like the new jerseys.
I think they're so ugly.
That's the dopest jerseys to come out of Chicago and forever. The city jerseys, Joe.
You know what, dude? I'm switching the camera angle because it was annoying me a little bit. I don't know if I like that one any better. Nah, fuck it. We'll go back to being tight on. We're good looking people. We'll go tight on us.
Yeah.
Look, I'm kind of on Corinda's side. I don't love that jersey that much. I don't know. I know you're gonna hate me for it, Ed. What's the yellow? Why the fuck is there yellow in it?
Yeah.
Look, we need more.
The font is stupid too.
We need more. I need another black representative.
No.
To talk about style on this podcast. They're
Well, let me switch. Can I shift gears then? Since you mentioned being black, Ed's a black man. Everybody.
Yes.
Do you feel weird not drinking during Black History Month though? I feel like if I was black, I'd be getting fucked up all 28 days of Black History Month.
Nah. See, that's what we learned from is the way the white man treated the Indians by getting them all drunk and fucking over their land. So I say sober so I can focus on my enemy more clearly, you know?
There you go.
Where all this hatred comes from. Also, in all honesty, it's the shortest month of the year. So
yeah, thank God it's over too. If I had to hear one more, and I'm just joking. I'm totally kidding, everybody. By the way, when I get SNL one day, which I don't even want, that's what they're going to cut to get me canceled.
Right there.
He said he was happy Black History Month was over. He's done. Well, it's Women's History Month now, so it's like, Jesus Christ, I'm getting it 2 months in a row with this nonsense. I'm joking.
What are you doing
Carinda.
to celebrate? What are you doing to celebrate in your household?
Women's History Month? I don't know. We do have two women in the house. Yeah. My wife and my dog. 2 bitches. What's up?
There you up for that one.
There you go. I don't think we're doing anything because every day is Women's Day because I just love women that much. Imagine if you met that guy at a bar. Carinda, what would you say? Let's have a fun hypothetical here. So, Carinda, pretend you're single. I know you're not. I know you got a great boyfriend. Okay. So you're single. You're at the bar. And the dude, where his whole angle is, I'm a male feminist. And aren't men the worst? And, I think women should run everything. What do you say to that guy when he hits on you?
That happened. You know I live in Logan Square, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So that it happens. It's like half the identity. I don't know. You can see pretty much through it. Like some people are sincere, but it's like also like if you're an ally, you don't really usually need to announce it like to anyone. I think that speaks for, what any marginalized group of people. And I don't even consider myself that marginalized, like in this day and age. Like I'm a feminist, but I don't know. Yeah, you can see through the bullshit pretty quickly.
No, what you said is fair. It was honest from what you're saying. I get it. You're like, yeah, I'm a woman and we get a lot of shit, but me personally, I feel like I'm doing all right. I understand that. I mean, I don't understand that. Everything's been great for me, but you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it could be worse. And I know people who have had it worse and have had worse experiences, but I think I'm just pretty lucky to be surrounded. What's that?
I think what you said in the middle of that was perfect. If you're an ally, you don't need to go fucking announcing it to the world and patting yourself on the back.
Yeah.
But I really think that is a personality trait. I know a lot of comedians have talked about this, but I overhear it at bars like Hipster Central, Logan Square, and this whole notion where it's like, oh, if I talk shit about men, then maybe she'll fuck me. Maybe that'll be like, that's what they're hoping.
It's just another pickup line. Yeah.
The follow-up question was, how many bodies do you have tied in your fucking basement right now? Fucking creep. Yuck. I cannot believe this is why women haven't been made yet, because they still fall for that bullshit. Not all of them, but there's a vast majority of them. Like, they're an ally. I'm like, see, this is why Kamala Harris is only vice president, not the president.
For now. Stay tuned.
For now. Until you guys start calling these fucking snakes out.
Yeah.
Let's fight with me over the internet for whatever God reason knows why. You're always gonna lose. I'm sorry. I read an article today that kind of annoyed me. It was about a trans comic and why they quit. And
I read that too.
All their stories was like, no, that's just the life of comedy. Like they met with a booker. And a male interrupted their conversation about getting booked. Like, no, that happens regardless. That has nothing to do with you being transgender. That's just a selfish business of stand-up comedy where that guy's putting himself in front of everybody else. That has nothing to do with your genitalia or how you identify as. And I was just annoyed because, of course, in this echo chamber of being Chicago comedy, everyone just liked the shit and this bravery shit. I'm like, no, it's a dick move regardless.
Now, real quick, I didn't read the article, but how would anyone be calling it brave if they quit? How are you brave when you quit?
I read the article and it was an interesting article. They said, I think the tag was, I'm trans and this is why I quit comedy. And I agree with Ed. Like when I was reading, I'm like, oh, that sucks. That's annoying. That sucks. That's happened to me and I'm not trans. Like that sucks. Like, all of these things, like, you relate to this person, but it's like, maybe you're just not cut out for comedy, that like, and it's really, and they kind of come out and say it themselves, they're like, my comedy career kind of came to an end naturally with the pandemic. And during the pandemic, you know, I discovered other ways to use my funny and my brain to reach my audience. So I think the message was still, I still got something out of it. You know, it still maybe changed my perspective a little bit. But I was with you most of the way through the article. I was like, well, yeah, maybe you should quit. Maybe it's not
That's
for
just
you.
comedy. Yeah, it's just a comedy battle. It was just like that Dave Chappelle bit when he was like, I realized, I think most comics think this way, honestly. I realize I'm 90% comic and 10% black dude. And that's almost like the way you approach everything. If you're a comic and you're in the life of comedy, that's how you approach everything. And God bless this man. That's the correct gender, by the way, if you guys want to fact check me.
Okay.
God bless this man for putting his shit out there, but you still got to approach it on the side of comedy first, and then you're still identifying politics second, if that makes any sense. Because you can't be like, oh, I wrote this joke and then everyone said blah blah blah. I'm like, yeah, you know what? I've had plenty of white audience members in buttfuck Indiana say, man, I sure like how you said that word nigger up there. I'm like, all right, well, you know, you ain't supposed to say that, dog, but you know, I can't change how you hear the joke after it leaves my mouth. You know?
Yeah.
I know mine for writing that shit. Yeah, it was just annoying. That's why I just read it too. So I probably should have waited until after the podcast to read it, but you know.
No, I'm glad you brought it up. I didn't know about the article. Now I'm going to check it out. But I didn't read the article, so I'm just talking on my ass. But I've seen articles that I'm guessing are kind of like this, and that you could tell me if I'm wrong. And Carinda, you too. Ed and I have had more conversations about some of this stuff than you and I have, Carinda. So that's why I was kind of like, Ed, you'll know what I'm talking about more so. All right, how do I put this? I'll hear people say something like, they're only doing that, or like, you know, they said a man interrupted. It's like, no, people interrupted regardless. They didn't interrupt because you were trans, you know, or transgender, I should say. I don't know what the correct term is anymore. I think I said that fine, right? Trans, you could say trans is for short. I'm not sure.
Hey, Joe, trust me, you're bringing back trans. You just start using that, you'll be fine.
Fuck you. I'm not falling for that. I'm not falling for that. I'm not saying that. Nope. Nice try. Not doing it.
Joe said.
But I remember one time I was somewhere where they were like, oh, I bet they only did that to me because I'm a woman. And I'm like, no, they did that to you because you were an asshole. You know what I mean? And, you know, Nolan Rafferty, the owner of Galway Bay Pub, he was on my podcast. This is like fucking 100 episodes ago, I feel like. And in Ireland, they say the word cunt a lot. They love that word there. You know, it's the same with Australia, the UK, but it's not meant the way it is here. Like in America, we're weird about the C word, the word cunt, right? They say it in a million different, it could be said complimentary. Like, oh, that cunt's a genius. Like, you know what I mean? Like stuff like that. He says, and they never call women that, like in a way to be like misogynistic towards women. He said one time he called a woman a cunt. He told a story. She was being real shitty. She made a huge mess at the bar, knocking stuff down, all this kind of shit. And then they had to kick her out. And then he said, well, I kicked you out because you're being a cunt. And all these people around, and she was like, did you hear what he called me? Did you hear that? And everyone around was like, yeah, we've been in the bar. You're being a cunt. You know, we see it all the time. Carinda left, but I saw her on her phone. So I wonder if she was texting me why she had to leave. Or maybe she just, her phone died. Who knows what happened?
Who knows?
Anyway, though, so if Carinda comes back in, everyone listening on the audio, I'm just giving you a heads up what's going on. Let's talk mad shit now. Now I'm kidding. Here she is.
Oh,
she's about to be back on. Are you back, Carinda?
I'm back.
All right, just checking. Ed said that you know, you probably didn't pay your internet bill because, you know, he started talking mad shit about you, saying like
shaking my phone around. You know, I'm using like my boyfriend's phone because whenever I try to video call on mine, it overheats, and I don't know how to use. It's the iPhone without the home button. Do you guys have one of those?
Yeah.
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 It's fucking hard. I was like, mine has a button.
I think the iPhone got rid of the home button like after the fourth.
So it's like, help.
Yeah, really. It's like, you guys know about this new cell phone
Dude,
thing?
iPhone 3? What do you got?
There's no cord.
This is the iPhone 7. Okay, I've had it for like a year now.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, she had it for a year.
The iPhone 7 came out. I don't know. I mean, I don't think.
Forever.
I think Obama was president
when
the
the
iPhone 7
one.
came out.
Yeah.
It was
I'm
the
just giving you
cheapest
shit.
one Apple would give me.
There's something about being a snobbish iPhone owner that's kind of fun in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
No,
like
there is.
having
It's
the
kind of
boot
something fun about it.
bubbles now.
What, you got the iPhone 5?
Dude, someone had an iPhone
Hey,
5.
I like the iPhone 5 is the best size. I miss the size of the iPhone 5. But
I
I feel
agree,
like you guys
actually.
are probably talking about something.
The t-
Yeah? Because
No, they're
it
too
fits
big
into all
now.
your pockets. Yeah. The 12, you can get the same size as the 5 now. I know stuff.
Oh, you
Definitely.
do.
I know stuff about technology.
Corinda got that shit on layaway.
Yeah.
2028. That bitch gonna be mine. I cannot wait.
Do they do layaway? That
Oh,
changes
Lord Jesus.
everything.
I'm pretty sure your Wisconsin ass will find a place to have some layaway.
Wait, where do you work? You work at T-Mobile, don't you? I'm coming
Yes.
in. I'm like, Ed said you guys do layaway here.
Please, God.
What
just
one do
in
you
my-
work at?
I don't know. I might
He's
get.
not
I
going to
might
say on the
get
internet where he
I don't
works.
know.
Don't say it. He works in the city of Chicago, everyone. Good luck
Yes.
stalking him. All right, back to this real quick, though. Ed, this article, so it pissed you off, but it made you mad more so because the complaints that the person had was more like, oh, that's just shit you deal with in comedy. That wasn't special to you.
Yeah, they made it about their own struggle. No, that's a comic struggle. It's not exclusive because you experienced this. It was a just for laughs booker. It was a just for laughs booker, which Joe, these fucking snakes in this business. They'll fucking stiff arm 80 people out the way, faceless people. Don't give a fuck who's in the way. That could have been motherfucking Shaquille O'Neal standing there talking to the booker, and like, yeah, excuse me, anyways, what's my next step to go to JFL and all this other shit? It didn't matter that they were trans, and it was just like, what are you talking about? I don't know. I just think I care too much. If that makes any sense. It's like,
No, Ed, Ed is a big believer in the purity of stand-up, meaning you better be fucking original. You better have thick skin. He doesn't like this comedy with training wheel shit. I think Ed kind of comes from like more modern Patrice O'Neill school of stand-up.
yeah, I would say so.
Yeah,
I mean,
which is great.
I grew up.
Yeah.
I grew up watching, O&A with them and just YouTube and all their shit. Tough Crowd was told to me my top 5. I can't believe they didn't find a way to bring that show back. Yeah, and it was brutal. And it was just like, yeah, I love that about comedy is that we speak a different language than everyone else. Because it ain't about the words, it's about the context. And I don't know. I think a lot of people are trying to erase that beautiful part of comedy. Because nowhere else in the world takes context at all. You said this word, this is what you meant. I don't know.
No, I hear you, Ed.
I like Ed's approach. I don't know. Like, I've only been doing comedy like 3 or 4 years now, which is the same length as a person who wrote the article and has since quit comedy, right? Which that's
I missed that part. They only done comedy for 4 years?
Yep. Well, 3 years. 3 years.
Oh my God. Why did Vice give them that much? What the fuck do they know?
Right. So that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I'm that far into the game and I know I'm still finding my voice. I'm getting stage time. I'm getting booked down some hosting and some feature acts, but I'm getting there. And in the 3 years, like if it weren't for like rooms like Ed's, like trigger warning, things like that, like my very first open mic, I announced like, this is my first open mic and, everyone listened to me. I got some laughs. Like I felt good. I'm like, oh, what am I nervous about? Like comedy is easy. Like these people love me. Right. So the very next mic I went to was trigger warning and I signed up last. And Ed brings me up. He's like, oh, she's new to comedy. I'm sure I introduced myself like, oh, I'm new at this, put me up. I'm going to do so good, right? Dead last, completely dead silent. And like my boyfriend that night broke up with me, like on the walk home. Like no one was mean to me. No one went out of their way to be like, hey, what are you doing here? No room for new blood or anything like that. But no one went out of their way to coddle me and say like, oh, you were amazing. Like, oh, it's okay. Come back. Like, things like that. And like that feeling of that room, like gave me more fire and more drive than that first open mic did, because I'm like, I want to go back there. Like, I want their respect. Like, I want them to laugh at me more than like, I cared about that more than getting 5 minutes down. I cared about that more than getting booked on any of these little bar shows. I'm like, I just want to make these people in this room right here laugh first. And then let's see where to go.
Yeah.
And it's important to have rooms like that. Otherwise, you're just getting all these fluffy Comments.
You get
Real
you
quick,
go ahead.
Ed, if I could hold your thought for 1 second. Sorry, bud. Corinda, did you say your boyfriend broke up with you on the walk home after you bombed on stage?
Well, it was at the drop, so there wasn't even a stage. After I bombed in the middle of a cave bar in Lincoln Park. Yeah.
Did he say it was because of your set?
No. We definitely had some underlying issues, but that probably was pretty painful to watch.
It'd be funny if it was like, I can't respect you. It was garbage. You shit.
But that's not exclusive to Carinda. Like I said before, we have what 6 breakups at that mic at least.
Yeah.
At least 6, one mid-set, which was my favorite work I've ever done. Literally,
Well, let's hear this story.
So the dude's on stage, and he's eating a massive dick. It's going. I'm talking sound drop. The whole you've been a trigger warning. Whatever the worst thing you've seen there, Joe, it was that plus 4 more. You know what I'm saying? And 2 minutes into his set, he's standing in the room, and all he sees is a silhouette of a woman walking behind him and leaving the bar. And then later on, someone outside, and they were arguing, and she's like, "Fuck it, I'm done," and she split.
Damn.
I love that story.
That bar was crazy because besides the open micers, like the people who were there for the open mic, there would be random regular people that never seemed to fit that neighborhood because that's a super wealthy neighborhood. The apartments are expensive as hell. The houses are multi-million-dollar. And I remember one time I was standing outside the bar there and this woman came up to me. It was actually Nolan. I'm dropping Nolan's name twice now in this podcast, and said my boyfriend just hit me or something. And we're like, oh shit, are you okay? And she's like, no, not really. She wasn't there wasn't black eyes or anything like that, but I'm like, oh, that's terrible. And then she's like, can I borrow your phone? And I'm like, yeah, definitely. And then she wanted to check her Gmail or some shit. And I didn't have the Gmail app. So first I was getting a little bit like, what the fuck's she doing? And then I'm like, just go to the Internet Explorer button's right there, whatever the fuck, Internet Explorer, whatever, Safari. And this is what's really funny, dude. She hits the Safari button and porn popped up immediately.
No.
Oh my god.
I forgot. I don't close tabs. I don't close tabs,
I don't
guys.
either.
Is it open?
Leave them open. Why not? I mean,
I guess
Don't
my
you have little
sons are young enough
toddlers?
where they're not borrowing my phone.
They're not playing on your phone. I feel like that's toddlers' favorite things to do. Like, can I play with your phone?
Well, I got a
their
passcode
iPad?
on it.
Okay.
But I have had it one time. I had my son. This was a couple of years ago when my oldest son is 4 now. When he was 2, he was playing on my phone, and I'm like, dude, you just liked a bunch of terrible tweets, okay? And I have to know unlike these
That's
tweets.
it.
And you unfollowed some people. Some of them I'm kind of happy you unfollowed because I didn't have the guts to do it. So thank you for that. But yeah, it was a weird bar. There was always some random shit. That last night of that bar, the drop, which was a fun spot, everyone, was one of those crazy drunken last nights where I remember being like, I need to get food just so I'm sober enough to drive. And I might have to just wait this one out, which, because, you drinking and driving, don't do it, everybody. So Ed, I know you're going to get after it when you're done drinking again. Carinda, you have given up drinking for what reason again? Lent?
For Lent. Yeah.
For Lent.
I'm not religious. I'm using it purely for my
This is a challenge.
convenience. I'm not religious at all. Yeah, because I wanted to do No Fun February this year. I always say I'm going to do it every single year, and I fail really bad, miserably. And I made it 3 days in this year, failed, and then I was like, just feeling bad about myself too for just being a failure. I'm like, what? There's no temptations right now. Even I'm not even going to open mics or going out, So then when Lent hit, I'm like, this is it. I'm doing it for real. But I didn't realize how long it is. I just said yes to it. It's 45 days or 40 days or something like that. So I think I might just stay tuned. We'll see.
For now.
And if you're if you're Catholic, I guess they cheat on Sunday. Are you Catholic, Joe? You just
I am.
You look like you would be Catholic. Do you hear this, that they cheat on Sundays for Lent?
I know there's some cheat day. I didn't know it was Sundays. Look, I'm Catholic culturally. I'm not. I don't go to church. Yeah, not practicing. What I mean is that I just identify with some of the stuff of being an Irish Catholic person. We know a lot of Jewish people, but they're not practicing, but they just they still run around saying they're Jewish, even though they don't wear the yarmulke, they don't do any of the other stuff.
Yeah,
that's the way I am. Be a good person to each other and all that stuff. But as far as so much of Lent is, it's a good idea to give something up and to challenge yourself. Like I'm giving up fast food. But it's funny because you're not allowed to eat meat on Fridays during Lent.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. But you could eat fish. Now, the reason you could eat fish is because back in the day when they were making these rules, so many people were fishermen. They'd have been fucked. They'd be like, hey, you can't tell people not to eat fish. That's like one of
That's
our
our
3 jobs that
livelihood.
exist right
Yeah.
now. You know, what are you gonna tell people not to go to prostitutes? We'd all be fucked. Come on, you know.
So they just added the Bible. All right, I got you, Long John Silver, and his cut and paste. Except
They do,
What?
man. Seriously, so many rules get changed because they
No
realize.
way. They changed the rules of the Bible for people's convenience? No.
Yeah.
No, come on.
Shocking, isn't it?
I heard like Lent was partially inspired by, this is all bar talk too, by the way. I'm a bartender, so I have these conversations with randoms. But some lady told me that Lent was started because they wanted to help the fisherman's business. Like it was strategic in the fact that like, oh, okay, like we want the economy to rise. We don't want people going out and hunting or trading for meat. We want people buying fish on Fridays. But I don't know. I wasn't there.
No,
so.
that could very well be.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Before we get into WandaVision talk, Ed, I did want to bounce back to something. Now, I don't care what Mr. Potato Head's going by. I don't give a shit. Every couple months, there's a new thing where it's like, we're changing this rule and that rule and all this stuff. It's like, whatever, call it Potato Head, call it whatever. It's fictional. I really don't care. I don't. And I know they do this stuff really just to rile people up and to
100%.
It's just to rile people up.
If they said nothing and just changed it to Potato Head and said nothing, no one would have gave a fuck.
No,
but
it's public.
Whoever that company is wants a big pat on the back saying, look how woke we are. That's it. They could have changed Potato because there is really no Mr. Potato Head. It's whatever the fuck you make it.
Yeah. When's the last time you thought about Mr. Potato Head until the recent history? Maybe
Well,
Joe,
I have
you've got
2
kids.
in my house.
You got kids, yeah.
I got kids.
But it's just a big PR scheme, like a big marketing campaign. Like that's all it is. Get people talking about something that they never ever talk about.
Yeah, that's part of it. And I want people listening to understand that people are getting played. These companies do this. And like Ed said, they could pat themselves on the back going, look how woke we are. And then the other side will be like, we're boycotting Mr. Potato Head. And then the woke side will be like, well, we better buy a bunch of Mr. Potato Heads or a bunch of potato heads so that we help their business because these people are boycotting, which is funny because the same people who are saying we're boycotting Mr. Potato Head are the same people who are against cancel culture. And it's like, well, then you're canceling the potato heads. That's essentially what you're fucking doing. Anyway, regardless, I bring this up to you both as comedians because you both have the attitudes where it's like, look, you guys are good people. And I know you're both on the right side of history with some things, but as a bartender and as the guy that Ed is, my listeners know Ed very well. You guys are people who are like, it's fucking funny. Shut up. It's funny.
Right.
Fuck you. You know what I mean? And I feel like as comedians, we should have that mentality. You know, if obviously we're at a show and someone's, comedian's picking on someone who's like mentally disabled, we'd all be like, get the fuck off the stage. What the fuck's wrong with you? You know what I mean? But if you're making a joke where you slip up and say something a little off color, it's like, all right, was it good? If it's a good joke, fine. I mean, you know what I mean? There's like,
someone's got to have fun around here.
Yeah, let's like, and that's what I'm wondering is the pendulum going to swing back the other way? You know, I was on this really.
No, it's fine.
I think it's going to keep getting worse.
No, well, it's fine. The people that see the problem is with us is that we're surrounded by people who give a fuck. And like you said, we lose quotes. But whenever I go on stage and say something off colored, it's just they laugh.
Yeah,
and it's like, oh, the normal people are fine. On both ends are the loudest people, but they don't have the numbers behind them.
Yeah,
they're just louder than everyone else, and everyone else in the middle don't give a fuck. They're just like, all right. That's funny. That's not. Who gives a shit? Yeah,
you're right. You're actually right about that. I just don't want to hear about it. I'm just sick of it. I said I don't care, but I'm just like every day. You know why? Because I still have like a portion of my friends who will be like, "Are you fucking serious? Huh? Yeah, like fine. Maybe I'll get behind universal healthcare, but every time these assholes want to get rid of Eskimo pies because it's racist towards Eskimos, it's like fuck you. Like that's like their mindset. Where I'm like, what do you care what it's called? You don't even eat it. You know what I mean? There's so many people.
I want to know
who
what
get
they're
mad at
really
shit they have nothing to do
angry
with.
about. Yeah, it's just like displaced anger, and it's just a way to, you know, focus your attention on something beside your actual life and things that you're actually sad and upset about. It's all it
True.
is.
Here's what I think it is, right? I just think a lot of these people that's this loud are white males. I hate to be this woke guy, but they were on top. They got away with everything. And
Well,
just
and old white females, not old, I'm sorry, middle-aged white females and
oh
high.
yeah, them too, them too. A lot of them are hiding in plain sight, but we see motherfuckers. So they're losing that shit. So Mr. Potato Head is a microcosm of them losing their way. The metaphor, you know, about shit changing, and they don't want it. They don't want it to change. It was like over the holidays. I spent my holidays with my in-laws, and we started talking Black Lives Matter. Um, which, if you have white in-laws, it's a great conversation. You should try it one day. And it was just like, oh, like all the news they get is just so way off base about the protests and shit like that. They think Chicago was a war zone during the protests. Like, no, it wasn't. There was one hard day of looting, right? One really hard day of looting, which I'm for, because honestly, in this country, nothing is done unless some shit gets looted. And then after that, it was about the message. For 90% of the protest was about the message. We had people, Dwayne Murphy was out in the streets every day out in the streets recording shit, you know what I mean? And he had one day where shit kind of went down. And that was by the Columbus statue, when they tried to take that shit down.
And they
Yeah, I
didn't
heard that was
announce that
pretty
to
crazy.
anybody. That wasn't organizers didn't relay that information to protesters there. Like, it was very, there were children there. That was very like, you know, some people knew it was going to happen, obviously, but not everybody that showed up to that protest was aware. You know,
Yeah.
they felt like they got too.
And most people that came to protest wasn't about that life.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
True,
it was just a handful of people that was like, fuck this shit. This shit kind of got spiraled out of control from there.
Yeah, the looting. I'm against looting if it's like small businesses and stuff. I have a friend who had a bar in the South Loop, and they got fucked up pretty good. And I'm like, damn it.
Aww.
You know what I mean? No, like dude, if you're gonna throw fucking a garbage can through a Bank of America, go for it. You know what I mean? I'm like, that shit's fine. Take out the big corporations, because you're right. Sometimes you got to make some of that noise to really get people to pay attention. But you know, leave Miguel's taco stand alone, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Come on.
Yeah,
I mean,
solid. They got it mostly right. I think so.
Yeah, no, of course. And there's always some prick. And remember in Minnesota when the shit first started to go down, that one guy was knocking out windows at an AutoZone, was like fucking undercover cop, or wasn't even undercover. He was just, because I think that's what gets fucking, again, I don't want to get too deep down the rabbit hole with some of this stuff, but every now and then you come across something where they're like, I heard, and look, I hope this isn't the case, but they're like, they started saying defund the police, and then some police themselves started to fucking, you know, rock the boat a little bit. That way they're like, see, you need us.
Yeah.
You need us. Look at this. You want Burnings building? There was this fireman. I don't know if he was a Chicago fireman. I can't remember the story, but it's a true story of a fireman back in fucking like the early 90s or something, who was setting fires. And they found out it was him. Well, because they were talking about cutting the fire department, because they're like, there's not fires anymore. You know, because it used to be back in the day, you plugged in too many things, your whole fucking house would go up in flames. Like, technology's a lot better now. People have surge protectors.
I can imagine the fire department just boycotting surge protectors.
Yes. But, you know, so they're like, wait, you're going to cut my job? Oh, really? Okay, well, here comes the cigarette I'm putting out on a stack of papers right next to the library. Fuck you. Call me up right now. Which I'd hope wasn't the case. I just think that everything that went down over the summer, with stuff, again, I don't know how we got quite on this topic, but you were talking about Black Lives Matter with your in-laws.
So yeah, and just talking about how people are like, so anyways, going back to that, is like, I just feel like they were like, oh well, now my life is changing.
Yeah.
Because so you take Mr. Potato Head, that's where it starts, and then
there you go.
You know, all of a sudden we can't call them niggers no more, and then you know all that shit, you know.
I think there's going to be a little bit of a bounce back, or at least maybe a little bit more balance. Did you guys know, this is another thing I learned from the bar, that you know, The Onion, we've all heard of The Onion, right? It's a satirical,
of course,
a left-wing newspaper. Do you know that there's like a right-wing version of that?
Really?
Yeah, it's called the Babylon Bee. I haven't checked out any articles or anything like that yet, but I heard this from some regulars that I love. You know, they're a couple, and, you know, they love talking comedy with me, and they told me about this article, and I'm like, man, or this newspaper, I guess, like, yeah, satirical newspaper. And I'm like, that's interesting. I wouldn't like mind just like reading a little bit, like the conservative side in joke form, not memes. Like,
Yeah.
I think it would be eye opening for me. I think for a lot of people, it's like, okay, if you can see through their eyes in the joking matter, like maybe we can all relate to this a little bit.
Yeah, I mean,
more.
there
I'll
needs
check
to be
that
that.
out.
Yeah, there needs to be that. There needs, just like how that trans person needs their audience, the right needs their audience too. I mean, they're out there. Larry the
Well,
Cable
what's-
Guy ain't get popular from doing shows in like Harlem, New York. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Tim
Definitely,
Allen.
yeah.
Tim Allen show, like that
Tim
one
Allen,
got,
yeah, he's
that,
Republican.
I haven't seen that show, that or Last Man Standing, and that one got canceled for a while, and that got a lot of heat. I never saw it, but people were like, "We love that show. The ratings were good." Like, and they brought it back now, but a lot of people think and assume it got canceled because it was too right wing. You know, he was and if you look at all the shows, like everything you watch, they're all left wing,
Even
except for that one.
Even Roseanne, the original Roseanne, when they came back, that was interesting because Roseanne was actually a right-wing person dealing with left-wing shit in her house. I think she had like a queer grandson or some shit like that in that show. So it was really, really progressive. I wish she didn't fuck up and say all that shit on the Twitter, because I would like to see where it went to now. But that was a show like, oh, if people would just shut the fuck up and watch it. She's actually talking about left issues and dealing with it as a right-wing grandparent. But
do you think they went too hard on her after the Twitter thing? I can't even remember exactly what she said.
No.
She said some really stupid shit.
It was bad. Yeah.
You know, here's what it is. What she said, honestly, from a comedian who has nothing to lose, wasn't that bad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't have,
thinking about that today. Like,
if you don't have
Roseanne, like, I wonder heaven.
Yeah, if you don't have like a network TV show that's #1, you can get away with it. No one will give a fuck. Like, if Patrice was alive today, he says some crazy shit like that, they're like, all right, whatever, that's Patrice. But the problem was, she was #1 in America's hearts. You can't say dumb shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I guess what I bring this up, and you're right, Ed, you're like, regular audiences fucking laugh. Like, if you know, all the stuff that people, the far ends, it really is. It's the far end, the right, and the far left. And I touched on this in last week's podcast, so sorry if I'm being a little redundant to my regular listeners. I just want to know, when I say something like, when's the pendulum going to swing? I want to know is, when is the center right, center left, and the center, if anyone's truly a moderate, you know, I feel like everyone has to lean at least right or left. When are those people going to be loud enough where they're going to be just like, shut the fuck up, shut up. Okay. Yeah. Whether it's shut up, no one cares what the fuck the potato head goes by. It's a fucking children's toy. Shut the fuck up. Or if it's the other way where it's like, has anyone asked if Hispanic people or Latin people want to go by Latinx? Has anyone asked? And furthermore, if you say Latino, have you guys asked if that Latino person is fucking offended, or are you being offended for them? Right. I think that's what drives me crazy about the far left, is they get offended for people. Dude, Ed, you know, man, me used to do shows at House of Blues in downtown Chicago almost every fucking Tuesday. You and I were on that show all the time.
Yeah.
It was a great show run by our friend James Camp and Chris Trani. And that show was great because it was the most diverse room in the city.
100%.
You know, there'd be times where it'd be like 75% black people. And I would do a joke in front of 100% white crowd that would be like, I would do it there and it would fucking murder. It would absolutely destroy. Yeah. And I'm like, well, good. This is more of the crowd I want to perform for anyway, like actual, like real life America, diverse people. But if I took that same joke and brought it to Logan Square, they'd be offended. And I'm like, do you understand that you guys are all like white kids who just hated your parents, probably because they loved you too much? And now you're fucking sitting in these bars judging everyone and giving no one the benefit of the doubt. Just taking everything out of context and being offended for people who fucking hate you. Like, they're like, these hipsters are being offended for people who would be like, get the fuck away from me. Don't speak for me.
Right.
It's amazing. It's insulting. It's really insulting. If I was a black man or like, you know, whatever, if I was in any marginalized group and I found out that fucking dudes named Tyler who wear skinny jeans and have fucking daddy issues are fighting battles for me, I'd be like, no. no, back the fuck up, dude. I don't need your help.
They have no idea. They have no idea. They can't even remotely relate to whatever the fuck they're getting mad about. You know?
Well, that's why I've got the one joke where I talk about, I know, Ed, you told me, I'm pretty sure you said you liked that line a lot, where I wanted to cancel certain types of people, and I wanted to get rid of the white guy who talks about how he's an ally, but he only has one black friend, and his black friend has no black friends.
Yeah.
You know, they find the one black guy. Hey, this is my friend. This is Eddie over here. He's a good friend of mine, and he's the black guy that only has white friends. Like, I don't know why. Just that it's always like their dude. That's like their mascot. Like, see, look, I'm woke. This is my black guy right here. And then all the other black guys are like, yeah, you can fucking have that black guy. We're good. We don't need him. It's fucking. I don't know. That shit just. I just want to. I know it's become a running theme on this podcast, everybody, but it's just one of those things where it's just exhausting. I just want people to give each other the benefit of the doubt. If someone's being a real true prick, then fucking, take them behind the woodshed, take them to school. If someone just accidentally slips up, sometimes good people have bad moments. And I just want people to differentiate that, because I feel like it's getting real tiresome. And I definitely don't want it to be a situation going forward where everyone just hates each other based on whatever fucking label you put to each other.
Yeah, my problem now that I have with this movement is the trans athlete portion of it. Because everyone that says, if you have any issue with this, you're automatically transphobic. And my response to that is, then why is Barry Bonds not in the Baseball Hall of Fame?
Right.
He's taking testosterone. That's why he's not in there.
Yeah.
And justifiably so. So for me as a sports fan, if I'm just talking about sports alone, I don't give a fuck how you identify as. I can care less. There's bigger issues in the world.
But if you're injecting testosterone into you,
and then going and suplexing motherfuckers and rest, like, what are we talking about? Like, what are we really talking about here?
Yeah, I don't know enough about it. Some people were telling me that, like,
that's another thing too. No one does.
Yeah.
So you can't get mad at me for questioning this shit. I'm just going off of sports. That's all I know. You take
also questioning, not to cut you off, Ed, questioning is not, we should be encouraging questioning.
Right.
I think we're getting too, and again, you're right what you said earlier, Ed. It's the fucking far fringes of this shit that I just don't like the language I hear out of some of it. It's not like swearing. Fuck that. I meant like how we're like, I again, I hate to bring up trans stuff again though, but like I saw a thing where it's, you're transphobic if you won't date a trans woman or whatever. And in my head, I'm like, well, hold on though. Say I were not married, say I was a single man. If you have a penis, I don't want to date you.
I had a joke about that.
That doesn't make me a bad person.
I was like, how come I can be transphobic? Can I just be dick phobic? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a difference. I'm not a friend. I think dicks are the worst thing ever. I shower and I turn away from the mirror when I dry myself off. That's for a reason, Well,
I love my dick. I stare at it all the time.
I do a joke that's like, it relates to this too, of like, I love women, they're my friends. I'm attracted to men. I'm like, okay, I'm a lesbian until it's my turn. Okay. Like a tongue is a tongue is what I say. I think vaginas are disgusting. I think my own vagina is disgusting. I'm trying to develop a closer relationship with it in my body, but yeah, I'm with you guys there. Like, it doesn't mean I'm anti-lesbian. It doesn't mean I'm against anybody's sexual choices. But for me, like, no, I don't want you. Does that make me bad? No. Does that make you guys bad?
It shouldn't.
No.
Yeah.
Your sexuality, and you're not judging anyone else's sexuality, and that's fine.
Like, we know women. We all know women in this scene that they don't fuck with niggas, right? We just know it. Like, they don't fuck with black people at all as far as sexually.
I like how you said that. And I've like, you said that immediately. I'm like, do we? I don't know. I don't know which women don't bang black guys.
I know. We all know a couple of them. There's one joke in particular, which I'm going to leave off of this podcast, which is specifically around that. About
someone. Tell me off air.
Yeah, I'll tell you off air. But it's just like, and that person that joked on stage, no one said that they were racist. And fair enough. I'm with that. 100%. But at the same time, you can't take that logic and apply it, and then apply it to date a trans person or something like that.
You just don't want the hypocrisy. It's like, oh, okay, like that's okay. And that's that gets a pass, but not this.
Yeah.
Just like, why are people policing anyway?
Well,
Right.
Carinda, let me ask you this. This is more for Carinda. I want your take, and then we're gonna get into some WandaVision. Because I'm fucking obsessed with this show.
It's
So,
good.
like for the finale that's coming up, I'm Thursday at midnight. I'm not waiting. I've been watching like Friday morning.
Right.
I have not been waiting because I had one spoiler alert on episode 3 when I waited the next day. So ever since then, I'm gonna wait until 2 a.m. Friday morning and watching it.
You guys are really
Ever
good.
since
Is that when it comes on 2 a.m.?
At 2 well, it's not 1, so I'm guessing it's 2. I tried
All right, I'm gonna
at
have to do
one
that
time.
too.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, here's my question for Carinda. I see this a lot. I'll see women say men are terrible, men are pieces of shit, which is like, that's fine. But it's usually, I have a friend who's been saying like men are the worst because they got dumped and they were broken up with and they took it very hard. And everyone's just like, well, yeah, she got broken up with by a man. So therefore she can make posts about how men are terrible. But if, say, a guy we know, a girl dumped him and broke his heart, if he ran around making tweets that women are fucking awful and women are shit, all women are shit, I don't think he could get away with it. I feel like he would have even more problems than just having a little heartbreak. And that's why I don't like, and I know I would never be one of those people that interrupts a tweet or gets into one of those Twitter threads where it's like, hey, don't say all men, say some men, because I know I'm going to lose. But I definitely think that it's just stupid language, because how, like, it's, I don't know. It's like, I used to get mad when people would say all Muslims are terrorists, because that's fucking a horrible thing. And it's 100% not true. And even though all cops are bad is a stupid thing to say too. These are all things that all they do, all they service are the people who already believe this shit. So if you're already racist towards Muslim people, you're just gonna, it's just for your buddies. Hey, all Muslims are terrorists, right? Other racist asshole. All cops are bad. Other person who can't think logically.
Also,
like,
all cops are bad is such a misleading way. I can't believe it became a thing. And this is why it's invented by white people. All cops are bad. All cops are bastards. Because it's not the cops. The cop is inherently a good person. It's the system they're playing in leads them to do bad things. Like, it's a gang. That's all it is. It's a gang, and they have a code, just like the GDs have a code. And so you got plenty of great people that were gangsters. Jay-Z, now he owns a champagne company that's worth how many billions of dollars. So it's all cops. No cops are, well, there are bad cops, but they're not all bad. All of them are put or could be put in a compromising situation. We'd have to make a decision.
Well, they have a very high suicide rate that I think a lot of it goes to, obviously they see really bad things in society that are absolutely heartbreaking too, of course, right? Murders and child abuse and rape victims and all that. And that takes a toll on your soul. But from talking to cop friends of mine and reading further, a big reason why suicide rate is high among police officers is the ones who do want to be like, hey, my partner's a horrible piece of shit who shakes down immigrants and does some really bad things. They can't tell a superior officer about that because they break that code and they just live with that guilt. So whenever I hear people being like, oh, good cops would rat out the bad cops, I'm like, they say that like it's that easy. Because a lot of these good cops who would like to rat out the bad cops have fucking families, might be a couple years away from getting their damn pension. You know what I mean? There's a lot to lose. It's not just as easy as being like a rat. Like, I mean, Dave Chappelle talked about Chris Dorn on the one Netflix thing he released. What was it called? 842?
842, yeah.
842, I think. 847.
847, I think is right.
Yeah, I think that's right. So anyway, I just thought, what do you think about that, Carinda, though, with the whole, I think if your heart's broken, you could say whatever you want. So if I have a dude friend that's like, oh, this chick broke my heart, she dumped me, she cheated on me.
You get 3 months.
I think
you get 3
like
months.
Heartbreak is heartbreak. I'm fucking crazy. Like, I have been crazy, and I feel, shame and remorse for that. And like, I would think I'm growing as a person, so moving forward, like I don't want to be the crazy person, the crazy girl, but we all have emotions, and like I've had it on the other end of me, like too, was a comedian, and things went bad, and I got some like really like manic, like crazy messages, okay, like pages long of just like threatening stuff, like you know, I hope you die, like quit comedy,
Jesus.
you're not funny. It was, Jesus is right, but it's like I saw this person as a person, like who was hurting, and there was a reason, like, you know, we were taking a break anyway, you know, and at that moment I could have been like, oh my God, this person is a toxic person in the comedy community. Like, I never want to see him around at any open mics or any shows. And if you do, you hate women and blah, 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 blah. But like in my head, I'm like, okay, I'm empathetic to his human condition and he clearly needs comedy. Like, this is the only thing that's like tethering him to this life right now. And like, we've since then healed, and I consider us friends. And like, you know, like I love seeing him when I get to see him perform and stuff. Like, I still think he's funny. I will always think he's funny. And I think about these people, not just women, because I saw it happen to Basil Farage when I first started comedy. Like, people, they feel victimized or they feel hurt, and they want justice. Okay. But in this little world that we're in, like, yeah, no one's breaking any laws, no one's really hurting anyone, but you're like, I can get vengeance, I can get back at them and somehow, and I'm going to crucify them publicly. How good does that feel, and for how long? Do these people ever have any remorse? Do they ever feel guilty about taking away someone's therapy, or like maybe the one thing that was making them feel whole, or maybe the one thing that was maybe starting to heal them as a person, and now you're going to take it away? Or you think that's going to make them better? Like, come on.
I always ask, like, what's the end game to what you're trying to do? I'm gonna leave a bunch of names out of this, but the last night we talked about the drop, a certain comic showed up. I guess we all can guess who it is, but whatever. And then a bunch of comics came up to me like, you know this person's here, right? You're gonna let him go up? I'm like, who gives a fuck at this point? I don't care.
The drop is closing down.
It's closing down. Who gives a fuck? And he's like, well, you shouldn't. And I was like, well, why not? Like, when you talk about taking someone out or banning someone from doing things, I am 100% for the safety of the comic and stuff like that. If some dude's being a creep, he's gonna follow you home, 100%. But in this case, there is like 200 people at this bar. If this motherfucker whips his dick out in the middle of the fucking stage, and it's like, what's the chances of that happening? This happened. Right. This happened the first opening up. Someone, there was a comic at an open mic in a park, and another open mic came and said, I don't feel comfortable with this guy being here. I'm like, you're at a public fucking park.
Yeah.
We're going to do corny behind a tree? Like, what are you talking about right now? It's just like,
I just totally mad.
I'm like, what are we talking about? What are we really talking about here? It's just like, oh my God, I was just so annoyed. I wasn't even there. And I was just like yelling in my bedroom, like, why are they fucking mad?
I don't know. People be angry right now.
I feel like it's not like, I think people need to sit back. What is my end game of doing this? What am I really going to accomplish? Is this justifiable, or is it not? Or is it something I feel entitled to? And I'm going with the second one because a lot of these people are white that pull the shit off.
Yeah, dude, but regardless
Joe,
of
you should have this podcast on just 3 days earlier, because that'd be justified saying all this shit because it'll be Black History Month. Now this is why I hate white women.
Hey, you know what though? March is also Irish American History Month, so
yeah,
about time we got some respect in this fucking
go.
country. Okay. Dude, you know what it is though too, man? Comedians love drama. As weird as that is to say. Dude, we see it all the time.
Yeah.
It was a week or two ago.
I love reading all this stuff. I never comment on it, but
I don't comment on this either. I tell people, and it's always the same people commenting where I'm like, guys, this isn't fucking making you better comedians. There's always some fucking thread about some random bullshit where it's like, did you see what so-and-so thought? And it's just like, dude, what are you doing? All these comics are comics we like are shooting themselves in the foot. They get bogged down by these lists and these opportunities. And the funniest to me is the show Ed and I produce, Comedians You Should Know. Whenever someone bitches about not getting on that show, it makes me laugh extra hard because that was
just
a show.
Start your own show.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you, Carinda. That was a show created by people who weren't getting booked enough. So they created their own fucking show. And Carinda, you're a show creator with Shady Babies, so I was trusting that you got it.
And also it's like that people want to be a part of, be that person. Like, you want to be a part of it, make something that other people want to be a part of. There you go.
And there were some people who, we didn't book for a while, but then once we did, they became a mainstay. Like, I don't know, like it's amazing how quickly people want, because the drama gives them something to do other than getting better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Totally.
like I could focus on this shit, and they don't realize it, but subconsciously we all have that. We all have the thing. Say you're in the middle of working on something hard, you have a goal, you have something going on. You could tell yourself, "Oh, well, fuck. I mean, I couldn't finish those last 10 pages because this shit happened. I mean, you saw this, right?" You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, dude, I saw that. They stormed the Capitol 2 weeks ago. It's time to start fucking getting back to your life. You know what I mean? You don't need to watch 24-hour news forever. Like, let's go. Like, there's people do that shit all the time.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk WandaVision.
Here we go.
Everybody. Fucking
Wanda.
Marvel. Let's just talk about the MCU just briefly here, because my wife and I just watched Spider-Man Far From Home. Neither of us had seen it. That was the only Marvel movie I had yet to see.
All
I know
right,
I'd see, because it's not on Disney Plus, dude. It's not on Disney Plus. I've seen all the ones that are on Disney Plus.
Okay. All right.
Did you rent
So
it?
I finally just bought it. I had to buy it. And it was good. And my wife was watching with me, and I told her I'm putting it on, and she's like, "Oh, okay." And then she was hooked, and she was like, I didn't know. I like the Avengers one. I didn't know about this new Spider-Man thing, because I don't think she saw Homecoming. And she was like, "That was really good. I really like it." And she's like, "You know what I love? How they are all tied together." Like, I think she dug, like, there's a scene where Nick Fury is trying to get Spider-Man to go on this mission, and he's like, "Thor, he's off world. Doctor Strange, he's busy. What about, like, he's trying to, like, give him Captain Marvel, like, talk to someone else. I don't want to do this." And it's crazy that they made a universe, and it almost bothers me that I almost feel like everything needs to do that going forward.
Yeah.
Because it's so smart.
I don't know about everything, but let's.
Why not? I almost want it to be. Do you guys ever watch the TV show Scrubs?
Yeah.
Really good show. I think it's underrated as far as, like, sitcoms go. The guy who created that, Bill Lawrence, has created other shows. And the show he created after Scrubs that I wasn't that big a fan of, I only saw a few episodes though, was called Cougar Town.
Oh.
But he had an episode where he had characters from Scrubs on Cougar Town. And in my head, I'm like, that'd be so fucking cool if there was a show creator out there. Yeah, you just kind of have, like, this universe where it's like Cheers and Frasier had that, where Sam Malone showed up, and it's kind of cool.
They do it with Beavis and Butthead and Hank Hill,
Yeah.
he's
and
part
Daria.
of Beavis and Butthead.
Daria. Oh,
yeah.
you know who's the originality of the movie universe? Kevin Smith.
Oh, that's right, with Mallrats and Clerks.
All those characters are all tied in together.
Oh, yeah.
Mallrats, Clerks, Dogma, all of them. Every single one of them, except for Jersey Girl. Which is why
and he's a big comic book guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Even Kevin Smith is in the Marvel universe. In what's that? Captain Marvel, when they slam into the bus, he's reading a script for Mallrats.
Whoa.
And that's set in mid-90s.
That's set in 92.
So do you guys read stuff about these movies, or do you actually catch all this when you're watching?
No. I first off, I don't read. I go to YouTube. I go to YouTube and type in "explain this shit to me," and then I come on here and look like genius.
Good.
But no, I've been a Kevin Smith fan my whole life, so I knew everything about him. And he did a review on Captain Marvel where he cried up because he found out that him and Stan Lee has been friends for years, and that was like Stan Lee's way of throwing him a bone just to get him into the universe. And Kevin Smith cried about that because he was like, "I can't believe this guy did this favor for me." And it was like, yeah. So
it's just, I mean, the fact that they've seemed to know what they're doing television wise is really, really cool.
Yeah.
Carinda was talking about, well, actually this before we started recording the podcast, that you're digging the fact that it's something to look forward to every week.
Yeah, I didn't realize like how much I missed that. Like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Saturday. Like, oh, a new WandaVision came out. I haven't seen it yet. Cool. I have something to do, something to look forward to. And we do it as a family in this household. Like, my boyfriend's son stays with us half the time, so he comes on Sundays and we watch it, and he's into the Marvel world so much. Like, he knows every little thing. Like, he caught the Agent Wu at the end of Ant-Man. Like,
yeah.
The close-up magic. So he caught that and he showed it to me. And then he when we were watching it live, he's like, oh, and he freaked out and he caught it and he's like, that's so awesome. And we're like, me and his dad didn't get it, so we paused the show and he pulled up the end of Ant-Man and he showed us, and it was like, I love like watching it with someone who really does get it and understand it all, and then it's like exciting for all of us. Like I cried today at the last episode. Like it's
okay. Before we get into the latest episode, so episode 9's coming up, everyone. I wanted to do a WandaVision podcast before the final episode. I'm sure I'll touch on it after the final episode airs in a few days. We're gonna play a fun fuck, marry, kill WandaVision characters. I got the male characters for Carinda, the female characters for Ed. So that'll be pretty fun. Okay. So the first 2 episodes of WandaVision, I'll admit, did start off slow. I still had fun watching them. They were sitcom-y. What killed me about the internet's reaction to the first 2 episodes were people being like, well, this is stupid. This is boring. And because in my head, I'm like, what the fuck do you have to accomplish before people just trust you? Right. Because in my head, I'm like, this is Marvel.
Right.
It's Marvel. I trust that this is going to build and it's going to be amazing. And the payoffs are going to be holy shit payoffs because this is what Marvel does, Yeah. And lo and behold, episode 3 rolls around. You get the whole tie-in with Monica Rambeau and everything that's going on with that. And I love how they showed, obviously at the time, I didn't realize that Spider-Man Far From Home did this, but I believe it was episode 3 or episode 4. No, episode 4. Because at the end of episode 3 is when she has the twins and Monica Rambeau is like, she kind of breaks the wall where she talks about Ultron killing her brother. And
Pietro,
it's like, Pietro's like, you got to get the fuck out of here. And she sends her out of the hex. Mm-hmm. Obviously, if you're listening to this, I don't need to say spoiler alerts. You clearly know what the hell's going on. It'd be pretty weird if you click on comedians talking about WandaVision and we're just ruining it for you. So when they show, like, because, the whole blip thing, Thanos' snap, everyone disappears. I just thought about how fucking sad that is. You're visiting your mother, her mother, Maria, who's Captain Marvel's best friend. So you're visiting your mom who's dying of cancer, and all of a sudden you just disappear. You turn to dust, but her mom didn't. So her mom had to suffer with cancer for a couple of years without her daughter. And then when you come back, I never thought of that. When Tony snaps everyone back, or not Tony, this would have been Bruce Banner. When the Hulk snaps everyone back, you come back to where you were. Yeah. So she comes back to a fucking hospital room that's an empty bed, and she's thinking, who moved my mom? And the one doctor's like, your mom died 3 years ago. And you're like, what the fuck happened? Like that, the way they showed that made me think, damn, that's crazy how that all went down. And then, of course, everyone on the YouTube Marvel people and the TikTok Marvel people, because I've been following Marvel TikTok's pretty great. They all have to be like, what happens if you disappeared when you were in a plane? Huh? Did you come back above shit and then fall 3,000 feet to your own death? Like, it's just, some people just take shit too far a little bit.
Right. It's like, this is a made up world. They're filling in the plot holes where they can. Like, give them a break. This is fantasy.
I think you just land safely wherever you were. But that's part of it. That's part of the allure of Marvel is people are trying to guess. So, on TikTok, there's a lot of accounts when I'm scrolling through, they'll be like, all right, here's my prediction. Agnes is Agatha Harkness, which everyone kind of knew right away anyway. Yeah. She's going to be, and then Mephisto's going to come in, and then who's going to be the big cameo, because everyone's already teased the big cameo. And Evan Peters, he was he was in the X-Men universe playing Quicksilver. Yeah. What's going on with that? Like, they're just doing really cool shit that keeps people talking for the week, which is why I agree with you, Corinne. It's nice to have something to look forward to every week. I kind of miss this appointment television that only HBO does now, because Netflix just drops everything at once. Yep. I guess network television still does it, but it's different. But
it keeps the conversation going, and like maybe the people that gave up on it after 1 or 2 episodes, are reading this hype on the internet, and the conversation's still going. Like, all right, maybe I should give it another try. Maybe 100%. I should get back into it.
But some people people are stubborn, and I'm talking about my roommate Radescu, are set in their ways of saying WandaVision is trash and gave up after the 2nd episode, and then also told me he's done paying for Disney Plus, that piece of shit. So he's going to give me to the end of this season, and then he's gone. So I got to subscribe to it now, the cheap bastard, to watch the Atlanta Falcons. Sorry, Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, Falcon and Winter Soldier starts the week after. Like, they just are so good at. I almost want to fucking figure out a way to, it's never going to happen, but I want to figure out a way to take how they market and how they hype stuff and bring it into the world of comedy. Cause that would be a really cool thing to do.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, Kevin Feige been working on this for like 20 years. I mean, it's a way, but it's a long-term game plan. But you know, one thing about that too is it's like I was mad that Disney snatched the Daredevil and the Punisher series and like what's the other
January
one?
Jones.
Jessica
Jones, I
Jones.
mean.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, why the fuck they do that? And then WandaVision came out. I was like, oh, they got better plans than what Netflix has.
Yeah.
They want to run it their own way without anyone fucking us up. So I was like, all right, I'm okay. I'm okay with that.
All right. So before we got to talk about like the actual series a little bit here, but you reminded me of something with the whole, all the Netflix Marvel shows, which were great. Luke Cage was awesome. Jessica Jones was great.
Daredevil has the best action out of all the Marvel movies. They have the best action scenes that hallway scene.
That hallway scene was amazing.
Which is incredible. That's the best thing they've ever came out action wise with.
So at the end of the last Spider-Man, you know, in the post-credits scene, the world knows he's Peter Parker. You know, Spider-Man's Peter Parker because of the whole thing that went on there. The rumor is that with the next Spider-Man, you know how they've already signed on the old Spider-Mans. So when the Doctor Strange movie comes out, which I think actually is set to come out after this Spider-Man. So the idea is
it's kind of weird. Yeah.
It's a little weird. So Doctor Strange is like the multiverse of madness. And I think what's going to happen is what Wanda's powers is going to do is going to open up some sort of multiverse. The fact that she has this chaos magic and she could literally create whatever the fuck her brain wants to, which she's not even fully aware of.
Wait. We don't know if it's chaos magic yet. I have a theory about that.
We don't know yet, but that's what it was said at the end of the last episode.
At the end of that last, yeah. I think Agnes is misled, but I'll explain that.
Could be. Agatha says you are the Scarlet Witch, which is supposed to be like a mythical person, I guess. So the idea being, this is what's cool too, is like New York City is prominent. Doctor Strange lives in New York. Spider-Man's going to need help figuring out what to do. Doctor Strange is like, all right, I got you. There's going to be some sort of like trial against Peter Parker. Who's going to be Peter Parker's lawyer? Daredevil.
The Daredevil guy?
They think that's how they're going to tie Daredevil, because they're eventually going to tie in everything. Because we forget how big the Marvel universe is, because the MCU had to close it down because of legalities. You know what I mean? They didn't have the rights to Fantastic Four. They didn't have the rights to X-Men because Fox owned them. But now Disney bought 20th Century Fox, so they own those now. They just have to get Spider-Man out of Sony. But even though Sony and Marvel have a pretty decent working relationship right now, although it feels like it's not the tightest as it should be.
Eventually, Sony's gonna fold. Eventually, I think.
Eventually, Disney's gonna buy them.
Yeah, eventually they're gonna be like, all right, fine, fuck it, we can't do anything. Just give us a check. We're fine.
Disney is like, we got the biggest stick at the table all the time. We're Disney. So anyway, all right.
That's what the big D is for. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm gonna change it to Dick.
Dick.
Yeah, right.
I mean, their dick comes down to their knee. You know what I'm saying?
All right. So, Carinda, you told me that you're loving the Marvel stuff, but you're not as deep into it as like Ed and I are. What is your take right now on Wanda's character? Because I think they're doing such an amazing job just showing her grief and her scary ass power at the same time.
Yeah. It's been a roller coaster for sure. I was like, oh, okay. Like, is she good? Is she bad? Like, what's going on? It's like, oh, she's just been through a lot of trauma. Like, she's a human. Like, you see her human experience, and I love her. I have a girl crush on her. She's so versatile as an actor. Her and the actress that plays Agnes, I can't think of her name right now, but I love her. Just seeing like the range. What's her name? Catherine
Hahn.
Hahn. Yeah, she's dope. And just to see them go like from character to character, not even from episode to episode, like within the episode, fluctuate like that. Like, it's pretty fun to watch.
Yeah, they did amazing casting. Casting was so well. Catherine Hahn is perfect as Agatha Harkness. She's
I
so
love
good.
seeing her in like a lead role like that. She's always been like, a side character or like the comic relief in movies or something, just to have her like in a lead role, like especially the last two episode, is pretty cool to watch.
And Elizabeth Olsen, Which I didn't realize that she is she's younger than the twins. I didn't know she was younger
You didn't know?
than Mary Kate
You know
and
they're
Ashley.
younger?
Oh my God, they're related. I didn't know that. Holy
Oh my
shit!
goodness! Yeah.
Wait, you
What?
really didn't know that they're related?
No,
kidding?
I didn't know that Mary Kate and Ashley had another sister. What?
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
she's
Elizabeth
the hot
Olsen,
one.
who's
What?
way more successful now.
What?
She's a hot one because she's the only one
Holy
that found the
shit.
sandwich.
Yeah, she
Oh my
eats.
God.
The other two were so
I
in
believe
Hollywood.
you guys, but I'm Googling it just in case. That's nuts.
Yeah, the other two were in
So Mary
Hollywood,
Kate
so
and
their
Ashley have
parents
another
starved
sister.
them.
Yeah, like for those of you who don't know, Mary Kate and Ashley, the twins from the show Full House that ran for about 9 years from the mid 80s to early 90s. They also had a bunch of straight to VHS movies in the 90s where
I
they
watched
were
all
like
those.
detectives and they were this and the Olsen twins, and people got real pervy with them where they had like a countdown to them when they turned 18,
Yeah.
and which was always creepy. Even when I was like, because I'm like their age, I think, or maybe even a little younger, I always thought that's a little weird. They're like anorexic. They're just so skinny and they got these big bug eyes because they're so skinny. But she was like always like in good. She looks like a healthy human being where the
Yeah.
sisters just didn't. And yeah, but anyway, I thought she was the older one, but I only think that now because I
32.
realize she's taller.
Yeah.
People who are taller look older.
She's
'Cause
like
that last
a good
picture-
head taller.
Yeah, there's a picture of all three of them together, and Elizabeth looks like, again, she's like 7 inches taller than them.
Yeah.
Like she's 5'8" and they're like 5'2".
Wow, they make beautiful babies in that family. I learned something
Olsens?
new. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, Mary
Christ.
Kate and Ashley could be hot again if they just they start doing
This-
squats at the gym and eating.
Just eat something. Who cares? You don't even do squats. Just eat something. Anything.
Well, yeah, no, they're just rail thin. I remember I saw a picture of them once where they had like their arms were just so skinny. Like there's just no meat on their bones. I mean, it sounds like I'm shitting on them, but I'm really more concerned about their health. Anyway, she's a tremendous actress. She needs to win an Emmy, especially for her performance in this last episode.
Yeah.
She does such a good job in the episodes before this, but this last episode was really just, she shined. You know, her acting was phenomenal. But she's doing such a good job throughout this whole series. Now, in the comic book, she was part of like the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants for a while.
Mhm.
She was a bad guy for a good run in the comics. So she kind of went back to being, no, she's good, now she's bad, she's good, she's bad. I only know her as the good person from the Marvel movies. You know what I mean? She started off as the bad guy in Age of Ultron, but then at the end of the movie, she's good. She becomes an Avenger. So she's always been good. I'm not ready for her to become a bad guy. And I don't know if they're going to make her a bad guy, but I feel like she could play it because she's had moments where I'm like, fuck.
Scary, right?
Yeah.
Like when she Captain Rambo, like that scene specifically, like, it gave me chills, and I'm like, oh, she's bad. She's not a good girl. But
I'm liking that Monica Rambeau still believes in her and has this notion of like, no, we're not. And how much do we hate this Haywood guy or Hayward?
Yeah, he's the
Hayward.
Boo him. And okay, I didn't get at the end, but now I don't want to give too much away. I guess you're right. Spoiler.
Everyone's here knows better.
So I should have known better too. I didn't realize till like the last 2 episodes, Marvel, to watch all the way through the credits and see like the little blip at the end. So I just did that today on this last one, and so I watched all the way end and the little blip at the end. So she never went in and got his body. Like they still had it.
They still had it. She created him out of her fucking mind.
And the memory is all, but he doesn't know that because he still thinks that. Okay, God,
that's why he doesn't know that she had killed him. That's why Darcy had to tell him. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ed.
Have that memory. Okay.
Yeah, so there's small parts in the episode where we don't know what Agatha's doing right now, but she doesn't know Wanda that well. When the dog gets killed and the son's like, "Mom, bring him back to life," you look at Agatha's face like, "Wait, you could do that?" Like,
yeah,
she still doesn't know what the fuck she's dealing with. With Scarlet
That's what
Witch,
she's investigating. Yeah.
Yes. Agatha wants something out of Wanda. We don't know what it is yet, though. We don't know if Agatha's a bad person yet. She just might have bad tendencies. It depends on what she's looking to do, and that's what we're hoping to find out this last episode, because everything is still. They built up just enough to let us know just enough, but not figure it out.
Well, that's what's so incredible. You mentioned how Carinda, they've had post-credit scenes. In all the Marvel movies, they have post-credit scenes. But the Marvel movies started in 2008 with Iron Man. And the whole idea, the reason they've had post-credit scenes these last 2 episodes is because you know how they were going decade by decade?
Yeah.
They didn't have a post-credit scene for the 50s episode because that wasn't a thing in the 50s. They only did the post-credit episode starting with the Modern Family Office type episode.
Oh, shit.
That's why they did one for that one. So I don't. So this new Vision, or the Vision that you see, the Hayward and Sword, that agency like revealing, that's like the actual Vision body. They put it back together.
Yeah.
Will it have the memories of the real Vision?
No.
I don't know. I don't think so.
I'm going on there and saying no.
All right.
He has something on his forehead that looks very similar to an arc reactor from Tony. So I think what they're doing is using Stark tech to power up this.
Yeah, because they don't have an Infinity Stone, obviously.
Exactly.
So it's crazy. It's crazy, and because my only hope is this better be an hour-long episode because they've got a lot of things to do. And I don't think half an hour is enough.
I thought they were going to keep getting like longer and longer. I was like, sweet, by like, episode 8 and 9, we'll have full blown movies each episode. But I get it. They had to cap it off at 40. But I would be happy with an hour for the season finale. Right?
All right, let's get predictions. What are your predictions for the final episode?
I don't even know. Let's see.
Well, Ed, go first because you got that theory. I'll give Corinda some time.
Yeah.
The real Vision sacrificed himself for sure to take out the fake Vision.
The real Vision being
the Vision that Wanda creates.
Thank you.
Sorry, that's
will sacrifice himself to get rid of this Vision because they're trying to use this Vision as a weapon, which is what no one wants except for an evil government agency would want.
And the Vision that Wanda created obviously has a moral compass. Like he's not under Wanda's control, and that's kind of crazy. She can't control him. So him and Agnes are the only ones in there that she can't control completely. And he's already has a moral compass and is already like, wants to do good for people, Yeah, I think you're right. I can get behind that.
And then Agatha's looking at the wrong place. WandaVision isn't using what's that kind of magic said again, Joe?
Chaos magic.
It's not chaos magic. Wanda is a witch, but the Mind Stone made her who she is, which is something different from. Actually, maybe not.
Well, you know what the theory is now. Maybe if I can cut you off.
Go ahead.
In that last episode, we discover. Yeah, in the last episode, though, we discover through that therapy session that Agatha took Wanda through from her childhood through the years, is that Wanda always had powers. It was the Mind Stone that enhanced them to turn her into even more powerful. Because you notice that the reason that bomb didn't go off when she was a little girl is because she didn't want it to go off. She's always had like these. And so now they're trying to say the big fan theories. And sometimes this sucks to watch this way. If you're a diehard fan listening right now, sometimes just enjoy what you're watching. Because I feel like so many Marvel fans, they watch the episode in hopes of predicting. And when their prediction doesn't come true, they're like, well, they should have done it the way I thought.
Yeah,
it's like,
that's what went wrong with Game of Thrones too.
Game of Thrones people got a little nutty with that.
Yeah.
Although the ending of that did suck. Seriously, Bran, the most boring fuck in the world, becomes that's the guy. Oh, because he knows history and he can see the future. I don't know. Fucking ridiculous. It's weird how Tyrion, everyone just listen to whatever Tyrion said. You know what I mean?
I never finished Game of Thrones, and because of that ending, I never even went back to it. I was like,
well, I just ruined it for you anyway.
Right, okay, I know. I made up my mind. I'm like, I'm not gonna waste my time with that shit.
All right. Well, I think what's gonna happen, dude, it's so fucked up because, in the comic books, this is loosely based off of House of M, somewhat, which was a comic book series, in which Wanda really shows off her fucking powers. Her twins get offed. They get killed. I think it's Disney. And it's still Disney. I know they're letting Marvel be Marvel. Yeah. And in the movies, the people get killed. I just don't see them killing 2 10-year-old boys or 12-year-old boys.
I mean, they kill that cute-ass dog, though.
Yeah, but you never saw the dog get killed. I guess you don't have to see the twins get killed.
You don't have to see the twins get killed. They can just die off camera.
But dude, if Agatha...
No, it's the easiest way to kill them off, Joe, is that they have a peanut allergy and Agatha just feeds him a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. That's what, and that way you put a PSA on peanut butter and children, so they cover all their bases.
Perfect.
There you go.
It's settled.
Kids are dead, and then hey, don't feed kids peanuts.
They gone.
Well, now if that doesn't happen in the final episode, I'm gonna be very pissed at you, Ed.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what was your theory you were gonna mention though, Ed? You thought you had like a theory that you were gonna say?
Well, I taught myself in a circle because the Infinity Stones are magic based off of Thor's storyline. They consider the Space Stone a form of magic in Asgard.
Yeah.
So I was gonna say that what's her name is not using whatever magic called, but the Infinity Stones are considered magical in certain realms. So that doesn't make any sense either.
Gotcha.
If that makes any sense.
Who do you think?
Doesn't make sense. So whatever.
Who do you think the surprise cameo is going to be? Do you think there's going to be a cameo that everyone's just going to be like, "Holy shit"?
All right. Cheap answer is James Spader.
He'll be the voice of the new Vision, Ultron.
Yes, that's the cheap answer. That's the easy answer because all around the internet. So go get the cast. If you just Google the cast of fucking WandaVision, his name pops up. However, certain other Marvel name pops up that don't make sense either. So that could just be whatever. But I don't think it's him because it's too easy.
Yeah.
I do think it's going to be multiverse related. And I'm going on the limb here. Hail Mary, Blade, Marshala Ali will be the surprise cameo.
That's quite the Hail Mary.
Yes.
That's quite the Hail Mary that you're putting out there.
Call me Marvel Doug Flutie over here. I'm just fucking close my eyes and hurl that bitch.
All right.
I want Paul Rudd. I just want to see him.
You want Ant-Man?
Yeah. Just work him in there somehow.
I mean,
he could sneak
he
under
could,
the
I guess. I don't know. I think it's a little unlikely. Well, there's talks that maybe Jeremy Renner, because the two of them were always close in the movies, like as friends, Hawkeye and Wanda. You know, it's cool that they had like Darcy, who's from the Thor movies. And I've always liked that actress. I'm into her.
Yeah,
Joe, you got to take into account the Paul Bettany interview that he had. He said, I've always wanted to work with this guy. So it's not who you said, because he worked with that guy before, Jeremy Renner.
He worked with James Spader. Yeah, I know that, but he worked with James Spader as in fucking Age of Ultron.
But that's what I said. That's the easy way out. That's the easy way out. That's what
I thought maybe it'd be Doctor Strange, but apparently the two of them worked in some English movie together.
That don't count. We're Americans.
I don't think that counts. I honestly think Doctor Strange is going to be the cameo. Or if you want to get really crazy with it, Patrick Stewart as Professor X.
That's true.
But get this, I'm doubling down. He's going to come through the portal. It's going to be a Doctor Strange portal. Oh, I fucking hit my mic. I just messed up the scene. He's going to come through the Doctor Strange portal with Doctor Strange. And he's going to be like, Wanda, we need to talk. After she loses it and kills, I think she's going to kill Agatha.
Wait, you just reminded me of something. That guy in the bee costume in the beginning, the beekeeper, like. Yeah,
I think he was just a sword agent.
He was a sword agent. I just think that was just something to set up the next episode, the small details of when they travel through.
Really?
Yeah, because remember they sent him out. I
think he's trapped in there now.
Yeah, I think he's just a guy. I think he's just a guy like Myman or some shit like that. Whatever.
Oh, okay.
I think
like the rest of them got trapped. Okay, gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I just remembered that. Okay.
All right, so here's my full prediction, and then we'll do Fuck, Marry, Kill.
Yeah.
I think Agatha either makes the twins disappear or does something to the twins, which is going to cause fucking Wanda so much grief. Because remember in Age of Ultron, when Pietro dies, she doesn't see that, but they had that twin connection. She felt it, screams, and fucking those Ultron bots, which were made of vibranium, she loses her mind so badly from pain and grief that she disintegrated those things. Yeah, that scene is so powerful. She's
Joe,
like,
I'm gonna hop on
like this red wave.
Joe, I'm gonna interrupt you. I'm just gonna run to the bathroom real quick. Keep talking.
All right, cool. Come back for Fuck, Marry, Kill. Literally, we're gonna start.
I'm coming right back. Hold on.
All right, cool.
Okay. I'm gonna have to put a charge on this too.
Jesus Christ. All right. I know we were going a little long this episode, but people are peeing. They need phone chargers.
Yeah, it's okay.
Are you disappearing too? I'm talking about myself
here.
now.
Okay,
It's
good.
fine.
Sorry, I'm here.
Right, so I think the twins are going to get killed. She's going to lose her mind and actually like fucking destroy, like disintegrate Wanda.
That makes
And
sense.
and not Wanda. Wanda's going to disintegrate like fucking Agatha. But then no, see, I know there's a fight scene. I know Vision and her like fight for their home. The sword.
Yeah.
So it's going to be Vision versus Vision. But first she fucks up Agatha. Agatha's gone at this point. And then Wanda and the Vision she created will destroy the new Vision and fuck up the Hex and everything. When everything's like, then the Vision she created has to go away because the Hex gets destroyed. And then Wanda's in pain again, and she's like crying, thinking, "What is my life going to be? This is me. Everything that everyone who gets close to me fucking dies. Everyone who gets close to me just." And I was saying that when they destroy the new Vision, the Vision she created will then have to disappear because the Hex will get destroyed, and then she's just going to be in so much pain. And when that happens, then we're going to see that portal open that Doctor Strange does when he does his little fucking thing. And then Professor X and him are going to come through it. Why Professor X? He's an actor Paul Bettany's always wanted to work with. Well, then Paul Bettany's dead. I don't know, guys. Watch the show. Fucking figure it out for yourself. Why am I doing this to myself? This is harder than predicting the Super Bowl.
Yeah, really.
Should we place bets?
All right, let's play Fuck, Marry, Kill WandaVision edition,
Okay.
everyone. My internet's slightly choppy, so I apologize for there. All right, WandaVision, Fuck, Marry, Kill edition. Let's do this. Ed Towns, we're going to lead off with you. We're doing the ladies first. Okay. Corinda, don't worry. I got the men folk coming your way.
Okay, good.
All right. So here we go. The obvious one is Elizabeth Olsen, a.k.a. Wanda Maximoff. Now we're going second. Monica Rambeau, who's the actress's name I'm blanking on right now. And then third, we are going to go with Darcy Lewis is the character's name, played by the actress named Kat Dennings. And then the other actress who plays Monica Rambeau is Teyana Paris.
Whew.
I think I said her first name right. Teyana? Right. I feel bad for not knowing how to pronounce it. Sorry, everybody. Who are you going to fuck, marry, kill of those three?
All right. I'm definitely fucking Darcy. That last episode when she had that circus outfit on, I was like, God damn, Darcy. then I remembered she was a thick girl and two broke girls. I forgot all about that. I was like, oh, yeah, you're the only reason why I watched 80 episodes of that TV show. So she's been on my hit list. Yeah.
She's been on my hit list. Your hit list.
She's been on my hit
list. She was in 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Was she?
She was in 40-Year-Old Virgin back in the day. It was one of her first roles. She's like a teenager in it who wanted to lose her virginity.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But no, you know what I like about her? She's got like a sexiness to her. You know what I mean? Like Elizabeth Olsen's beautiful. The actress who plays Monica Rambeau is beautiful. I'm not saying Kat Dennings isn't beautiful. She is, but she also has a sexiness to her.
You know what she has? It's that she's all that moment. Remember that movie where she was like a dork and they dressed her up for like prom, and then she took her glasses off and the slow motion kicked in. And it's like she was gorgeous all along. That's what she has.
But I'm also thinking she's got a fun attitude. She's got a fun personality. I think she's the type of where she doesn't get mad at you for sneaking cigarettes. She's more like, why don't you bum me a smoke too? You know what I mean? She kind of has that attitude to her where it's like, I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's stay in and eat like slobs tonight. I don't mind. You know what I mean? I feel like, you know what she does too? She walks around the house in a hooded sweatshirt and just panties. I think that's the move she does.
Yes.
With the socks up to the knees.
Yes. Stays on Twitch.
All right, so you're gonna bang her.
You still gotta marry someone. You still gotta kill someone.
Marry and kill. Who you doing, man?
Well, I mean, it's easy. Okay, with Black History Month ending and Women's Month starting, I gotta marry Monica Rambeau.
And you're killing Wanda?
Yeah, just because you know, I always had this joke that like I'm not really suicidal, but I kind of get excited when like I look on the news and there's an asteroid coming towards Earth. You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
So if I kill Wanda, I'm pretty sure she's not some catastrophic death where like most of us are gonna die, which I'm okay going out that way. You know.
As long as everyone's
kill Wanda.
Doing
also, I understand killing Wanda because you couldn't marry Wanda because she'd be too controlling. You know what I mean? You couldn't get anything by her.
Yeah,
She literally
at all.
could make you do whatever you wanted.
In fact, it's not
That's
a fair
dangerous.
marriage. Now, Monica Rambeau, she's an outstanding person, great citizen, country first. You know, that's the person you marry. Knows what's right.
All right.
Yeah, you marry that one. I don't want doing all this shit and all of a sudden I got a fake PS5 playing Atari games on there, but my brain thinks I'm playing Grand Theft Auto while I'm really playing Space Invaders. That's not fair.
I agree with you there. And also Monica Rambeau would be a good one to marry because you also get to have sex with her. So that's why the one you choose to marry is the best.
Yeah.
Because
you get both.
You know what I mean? Well, you could have either one too. You know what I mean? I used to do fuck, marry, kill, where sometimes you have to get a guy. And as a guy, you're like, I don't want to bang any dudes, but I'll marry Brad Pitt because we don't have to have sex in marriage. Or if it's someone you want to have sex with and you think they're cool. So it's like, I'm going to marry Scarlett Johansson because the sex is on the table and I get to be with her all the time. But then I'm only going to bang, Brie Larson because then I don't have to talk to her after that. I'm throwing in other characters here just to give examples of why you made good decisions, Ed. All right, moving on to Carinda now. No, I think Ed made the right moves. I agree. Obviously, I think I would probably pick the same way you did, even though it's really hard because I love Elizabeth Olsen. I'm such a I got a crush on
Darcy
her.
when she was wearing that circus outfit, I was just like, Jesus Christ.
The women in that show, they stacked them up. You know, they're all beautiful and they all bring something awesome to the table. I'm trying to think of what other guys you're going to mention beside Vision.
Oh, here's the guys.
I'm just excited to see who else is on the table.
Well, you got Jimmy Woo, played by actor Randall Park.
Yeah.
He's a very funny guy. He's been in some other stuff.
He's done. Okay, who else?
Well, I got to name all.
Hey, Carinda, what's your problem with the Asian Americans in this country?
Close-up magic, dude. Close-up magic. The obsession with that.
No, it means he's good with his hands. Think about it.
Yeah.
True.
Good with the fingers. All right, let me name all three before you kill, marry, and bang them. All right, you got to let it process. Damn it! All right, Randall Park.
Who's that?
Jimmy Woo, Agent Woo. Then we have Vision, played by actor Paul Bettany, and then we're gonna have fake Pietro / Quicksilver, played by actor Evan Peters.
Okay, so I would still kill Agent Woo, and I would fuck Pietro, and I would marry Vision.
All right, very quick.
Why Woo still stand with the close-up magic thing?
It's a turnoff. Magicians are a turnoff to you, huh?
And he's just anytime he's on the screen, I was like, he's a little awkward. He's not really needed. You know, like Monica Rambeau and Darcy, like their chemistry is fine. And I kind of think I would like it better if it was just, them two trying to bust him out. But I guess now Monica needs a sidekick now that Darcy's trapped in there. So yeah, he's not that strong of a character in the show, I guess, but Vision is dope. He's got powers. He can fly. He's really nice.
And are you marrying Vision because he doesn't have a penis and you don't have to have sex with him?
Okay, so how did Wanda...
Does he have a vibranium dick?
He got her pregnant, right? Those kids, the twins are her. Those two?
We think she could just do that shit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's a really good listener, too. So,
real quick, though, he's got a vibranium dong. If the dong's made of vibranium, that's like a penis that's a vibrator, right?
True. Yeah. Multiple settings, he's got it all. We got it. We got something to work with.
He has a knob on his dick where you just turn to listen and fucking.
I don't have to charge it. I don't have to change the batteries. Like, this is perfect. He's a dream man. And then
there you go.
The person I was gonna fuck was Pietro, the Quicksilver guy. So I'm glad you brought that up too, because there's another thing that Chris here was freaking out about. He's like, oh, he's from the X-Men. I gotta Google this. Let's pause it. And he paused it and he Googled it, and he's very excited to see him come back in. I wish he was gonna be in more episodes in this though, because I like that character. Like, he's fun. He's someone that you go out with probably too late.
No, he's a great character.
Yeah,
he's
probably
good.
Sleep with him on the first night, kind of thing.
Yeah,
you don't think you're a bad person. You just think you're like living life a little bit.
I don't know. Like, would you really want to fuck Quicksilver? Because you'll be like, your legs will just be shaking, and like your clothes will be on. Like, what happens? Like, it's done already. Sorry.
Oh,
well, he can give you 300 pumps, and you'd be out cold, and he's already fucking getting something.
I guess it don't matter how long it takes, as long as job is done, right? I guess,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's
That'd be
true.
funny if women were. It wasn't about how long it took; it was about the number of pumps. Like each woman was different.
Yeah.
She's like, I need 77 pumps.
Yeah.
I need
Don't
108
care
pumps.
how you get there. Don't care how fast it takes. Just make it
Yeah.
happen.
That number of pumps. That'd be pretty hilarious
That'd
if
be
that's
nice
how it
to
worked
have.
out.
Yeah, if I had like a formula to me, I'd like that.
Yeah. And plus, Quicksilver, this version of Quicksilver, his scenes were the best in the last couple X-Men movies.
Oh yeah.
YouTube Quicksilver X-Men, and there's some really awesome scenes.
Okay.
Because what they did with him was he was so fast that time moved super slow. Instead of him just being
So
there
that's
right away.
Yeah.
That was so cool how they did
That's
that.
one thing Marvel.
Yeah.
That's one thing that Fox did right, which I don't understand why. Fucking, I guess it couldn't. But yeah, so like Quicksilver in the Marvel movies, he just moves fast and stuff like that. But in the Fox cinematic universe, it's always shows it from his perspective. So
Yeah.
he looks like he's moving normal, but everyone else is moving very, very slow. So like water drops and shit like that.
I love that. Yeah.
It is such a great job with that. Yeah. Anyway, everyone, we're pumped up for WandaVision. The next episode, I'll probably recap on this podcast, so check it out. Before we go, Ed, tell everyone where they can find you.
Comedy's opening back up. Joe, when's this coming out?
This is coming out tomorrow, Wednesday, March 3rd.
Oh, okay. So Tuesday, March 9th? Is that right?
I don't know. Sure.
Whatever the following Tuesday is, I'm at the Laugh Factory at 7:30. Then I'm at some cheese spot that the lead singer from Smashing Pumpkins owns in a northern suburb, doing a show up there. The next Tuesday, I'm at Shady Babies with Carinda at North Bar.
Yeah, March
okay.
30th. Or wait, is that the 16th?
The 16th, right.
Yeah.
And where should they follow you on social media? Both of you guys give out your social medias.
At Ed Towns on Instagram, which I'm really active on a lot. At Ed Got Jokes on Twitter, semi-active. And just follow me on Facebook, Ed Towns.
Woo. Carinda Rae Larson on Facebook. I think I'm just at Carinda Larson on Instagram. And I have a Twitter, but don't look for me because I haven't been on it in years and I haven't edited it since I was in college. So
Twitter sucks anyway. Stay off of it. Yeah. You're better off for it. All right, everybody. That's been the Joe Kilgallon podcast. Thanks for checking it out. Thanks for listening us go from talking about the problems with society to the problems with WandaVision, which there aren't any because we love the damn show. We think it's perfect. Everyone just enjoy the ride. As always, have a good one. Cheers.